my teeth into this, and I believe the draft is just about ready. So we're going to be able to get on into this fourth and final series of the day. And I gotta say, we've had some very different drafts across the day, and I expect this one to live up to that. Kestrel, the first ban.
Yeah, it's a target ban against Hyde because he's so proficient and so great on that Kestrel. And I think Tempo Storm here on the B side, they'll probably target ban a captain that they don't want wrecked on, so Lyra.
Yeah, Lyra is almost synonymous with wrecked. Kestrel synonymous with Hyde. So not surprised at all to see both of those taken off the board. Also not surprised for this Grumpjaw first pick.
Yeah, Grumpjaw going to be locked on in here, and with Koshka not being banned in that first rotation, is that something we're going to see here?
Yes, Grumpjaw counters Koshka actually, so you do not want to play a Koshka into a Grumpjaw because he's tanky, he has a lot of damage, and he can basically beat her in the early game and shut her down. So that's why they picked that Grumpjaw to secure that early game for them, and they can flex him as a captain. He's also a good captain as well. So Adagio we picked up here is a good flex pick for GankStars, and I think they're going to ban something that works really well. Oh, they're going to actually take away Baron from Iraqi. So it's a very, very good, I think, draft from Tempo Storm here.
Yeah, I can see the logic at least. If you do go for the Koshka along with the Grumpjaw, you want something late game, then they can protect you in the early. Not going to be able to get that one off though as we head to ban 2.
Yeah, I think GankStars very likely to ban Glaive here. Those are the two most played from Hyde, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Focus Hyde's hero pool. That's one of the concerns about Tempo Storm is, does Hyde have a deep enough hero pool to be able to perform at this level? We're going to have to find out.
Yeah, so very clear that these two teams have done their homework. This is a draft that is consciously banning against their opponent's comfort picks, against their opponent's common picks. Now, what are we expecting for these final 4 picks?
Yeah, I think Gwen is going to come up potentially here on Tempo Storm sides. Selena plays a very nice Gwen. Either Vox or Gwen is what he prefers. So I think one of those two, he'll probably go with the Gwen because she's very meta right now in lane as a weapon carry. And they might go Captain Adagio. If they decide to pick like Arden, for example, they're probably going to lane the Adagio, and that's a good option as well.
I think they're likely to grab their jungler here because they don't want to risk the jungle pool getting diminished even further, but they're going to go for the Finn. We saw it banned every single game last series. Now it gets a chance to shine.
Yeah, Finn is good because he actually cannot be eaten by Grumpjaw. So as long as positioning is really good with Finn, Grumpjaw cannot eat the carry if they play behind or Finn positions really well. So here, GankStars can play Koshka and just really dominate the early game. Grumpjaw captain with Koshka is very strong, and you pair that with like a Gwen. That's a really scary combo for them to draft against Tempo Storm here. So let's see what GankStars is going to decide.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, now that Finn has been locked in on the side of Tempo Storm as well, where are we expecting Adagio to be put instead? Because that kind of removes the flex, right?
Most likely the lane. It's very, very common that Adagio is either the carry or the captain. It's only very select few teams that are willing to put him into the jungle.
Yeah.
So I would expect him to carry, but we're going to get the Gwen here for Iraqi, and you can hear the crowd pretty happy about that one.
And if you get Koshka here, that's going to be a very scary. Yep, Koshka comes out, and then now Tempo Storm has to really think about this last draft. There's a lot. They can try Black Feather, but he's really weak in the early game, and he will outscale the Koshka late game. So they might even try potentially Rona. They need someone tanky to help Adagio fend off that Koshka diving in like an assassin and that Grumpjaw going in like that. So let's see what they're going to decide here because they have very few options, I believe.
Yeah, look at that. Koshka, 71.4% win ratio. That is insanely high, and that's across both regions.
Both regions. In North America alone, it's over 80%. So it's, again, the numbers don't lie. They tell a very strong story. It's going to be the Black Feather here for Tempo Storm to try and answer. Likely to be a weapon Black Feather, but this is all about protecting Hyde and having carry hard with this Black Feather.
All right, well, it's time to ask for some kind of predictions here. Who do we think has won the draft in this one? We'll start with you, Sujay.
I really like GankStars' draft. That's a very known meta draft, especially with Captain Grumpjaw, and Rekt is very phenomenal on Grumpjaw, so I think GankStars will take this away.
I think the GankStars draft is definitely stronger, and they have the power in the picks to be able to shut down that Black Feather and keep it from getting strong.
All right, well, you can hear that the crowd is ready to get on into this one. I think we are too, and I think you guys at home are as well. Let's hand it over to our casters to start the final series of today.
Wow, Tempo Storm versus GankStars coming in here. I knew that this was going to be hype. You heard everything these players had to say. I'm here with Shinyu right now. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good about this game. This has been one of the most talked about series of the day so far, and I think talking to a lot of people, they weren't sure who was going to win. It's been very 50-50. Both of the teams coming in as underdogs, and I think there's a lot of focus there on Tempo Storm, who came to the Vainglory as the only team to come from the Challengers and make it to the championships today.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I mean, they came into the second split and they just dominated. I think they really shook up a lot of expectations coming into this tournament. I think a lot of people sleeping on this team, but they can easily make it past. If this is a 3-0 series either way, I will let you rename my main account. I think this is one of those series that's easily going to go all the way.
Definitely. These teams, both very strong, and I think the question is, GankStars, all three members individually, a lot of experience on the live stage. Tempo Storm, Lost Boy Toff, he's the only one that's really had that consistent live experience, and I think there'll be a lot of tension on Hyde and on Selena to see if they are able to perform with this pressure on them today.
Right. I actually think that's a really good point that we bring up. You know, a lot of people talking about Tempo Storm and the new players, but you look at Lost Boy Toff. This is a guy that has showed up at live event after live event, huge impact. This is a player to play around, and with the talent around him, it's going to be insane. GankStars obviously incredibly balanced. And they talked about, you know, Xeno not feeling so well the last few days. He looked pretty well today, and I just hope he can show up here.
Yeah, it's a little, I see what you mean. Like Xenotech, there's a lot of focus on him, and I feel that when we've been watching the GankStars over the past few weeks, what we've been seeing is it's a lot of focus there is on Xenotech. He likes to get that early game pressure. He likes to play those aggressive heroes like that Blackfeather, like that Koshka, and it works really well with Rekt, who, you know, we see him getting that Stormcrown very early on sometimes, and GankStars, they like to ride that early momentum to victory.
My goodness gracious, right now, after coming off that Hammers Immortals series right here, I don't even know what to expect. But getting into this game, we have our players loaded into the fold and making their way out into their positions. We're going to have Xenotech hanging out on the back healer there as Lost Boy lumbers forward on this Finn. And Lost Boy on Finn, I mean, this is one of his all-time favorite picks, right?
Yeah, we've seen him doing, you know, he's very adept at trying to landing those quibbles, getting those forced accords in. My only concern is, are those forced accords going to be as effective as a composition such as GankStars are playing? And I think there will be a lot more focus on using his quibble to try and land those stuns, especially onto Gwen, who has one of those, you know, priority hit picks, is very, very squishy.
Oh yeah, Finn loves to play into those melee heroes, and Rekt moves forward, is cheeky as always, but ultimately the mid healer will go the way of Tempo Storm. Now GankStars move down, going to go ahead and take out the Zelda Tree, and this will go their way. It's going to be a nice little boost to their economy and a nice little heal to keep them snowballing here early. As far as the lane matchup, what can we expect here?
What we can expect, Lost Boy Toff, he's very good at just trying to get those tanky hits. Actually, Selena, they're going onto Selena already. This could be the first
Selena
kill.
Taking a lot of damage. Selena's going to go down first blood very early for GankStars, and it felt like Selena didn't see that coming.
I feel like they really didn't. Actually, if you looked at the positioning at the very start of the fight, Lost Boy Toff and Selena, they had very aggressive positioning, but if you look at the rotations from GankStars, very clean from Rekt and Xenotech, coming up from behind to get the flank. And Selena, as that Dajio, very slow base movement speed.
I mean, that has been one of the criticisms of the people who weren't winning on the Koshka, is that they weren't taking advantage of the early game pressure. And right there you see Xenotech making it happen. So we'll see if he can continue on this trend. Hyde able to take away the mid healer here, moving on to Xenotech. What's going to happen? On point lands. Xenotech has the move speed buff. He's going to just go ahead and try to get out of this one. Does have the level advantage. Jumps back in. Penalty Funge. Whirly Death on point. Hits Xenotech and Hyde playing games. But this will be Rekt dropping down. Iraqi Zoro thinking about it as well. But there's lane pressure. There's a lot of minions he's got to take care of. Hyde on point. He's on a Xenotech. 2-on-1. Hyde. He jumps forward. Can he find the damage? It's not going to be enough, but enough to buy him time to get out of here. Iraqi really doesn't want to jump down. Polite Company is going to be a tasty little treat for Hyde to get himself out of here.
Yes, I'm not quite convinced that was the best idea coming out from Hyde. I see what he was doing, trying to exert some of the counter pressure there onto the Koshka. But you know, if you look at it, Blackfeather, early game Blackfeather against an early game Koshka, I don't really see that measuring up that well.
Well, we can talk about it not measuring up, but Hyde was in a 2v1 situation and forced Xenotech back there. So I think that goes to show his mechanical ability. But as you said, obviously, it typically can be a tough matchup.
It was a big risk. Actually, just kind of commenting on Hyde, we saw the draft in the draft phase. They managed to ban out not only the Kestrel, but the Glaive, his two top hero picks. And we've not really seen him play much of Blackfeather. It'll be interesting to see how he'll be performing throughout this game. You know, I think he's one of the most skilled junglers that North America has to offer this season.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I was joking around with Hyde earlier. I told him, you win this tournament, I will call you best Kestrel
He
in
made me promise that too.
Promise that as well. Well, right now, this is a pretty even early game here. Now, GankStars do have a slight net worth advantage as far as they've been able to farm pretty well. But Selena going to go ahead and teleport back here as Iraqi farms underneath his turret.
I want to be seeing GankStars picking that fight right now. Xenotech, he's doing really well on levels. Rakazar, he's picked up the tension bow, and we know that in the recent update, tension bow did get that increased critical chance, and it synergizes so well with the boomstick there on Gwen. And if they can pick a fight, they've got a lot of damage that they can be doing very early on to Selena and Hyde.
That's definitely a very good point. Now, as they get into these engagements, who's the main target for Iraqi Zura here? A lot of burst damage, but who do you pick?
Well, you can look at it this way. You can either go on Hyde, who's going to, as a melee, very in your face. It's easy to get that damage onto him. Or you could be going to Selena, who's very slow. It's very easy to get that 3-man target focus onto him, and it's going to be very difficult for him to escape as well.
That's typically an issue with Adagio, but if he can stand his ground, he gets a lot of work done. And we do see GankStars thinking about moving into the jungle here. There's nothing really to take away, so Rex gets a scout trap down on the mid healer. Always a great thing you can do. If you can just keep vision on that mid healer, it allows you to know when that spawns, when you can get in there and try to contest that.
Yeah, Rex just picked up the fountain there. I think this is a really good power spec, and I would really like to see GankStars trying to just take advantage of this. Koshka's quite close to that Aftershock as well, which is also another great power spec there for GankStars. But I feel a little bit disappointed right now that we aren't seeing them exert that early game pressure. We've not really seen them take any control of the jungle or the lane at this point, and it's been a disappointingly slow start so far.
I think, sometimes these, and we talk about Tempo Storm, the players that haven't played on the stage, nerves do play a role at these live events. When you see the fans out in front of you as you're on that stage, it can get a little nervous there. But we do see Hyde jump in, starting to poke, getting a feel for the lane here, getting a feel for the damage output. Iraqi Zora taking a lot of damage. Wreck. He's grumpy, he moves forward, trying to zone out Selena there, and doing a pretty good job. You see Selena giving a lot of respect. There's that tension bow proccing off. Xenotech moving forward, Swirly Death. Xenotech is level 6, so we can see if he can find that yummy catnip frenzy here. And that's what our best Koshkas around the world are making ganks happen as soon as they get that ability up.
Yeah, there's a lot of no one on the side of Tempo Storm has that reflex block yet. Actually, Hyde taking a little bit of damage there is going to escape. But so far, we're just seeing a lot of trading back and forth between the two teams. Xenotech, he does now have the Aftershock as well, but yet not that much action happening so far.
Yeah, I think right now it does feel as if both teams are sort of just poking back and forth at each other, looking for that opening that they can go ahead and take advantage of. And both teams applying pressure. Iraqi Zoro continues to farm, does have advantage in the lane. Doing pretty good. I mean, over 10 CS advantage in the lane. And for Adagio, that's not something that happens all the time.
Yeah, it's not something happening. It's actually reflecting in the gold difference. Actually, Xenotech might be a little bit out of position here. The two teams are beginning to meet.
We're in the EU, and the Elder Tree is playing games here. Yummy Catnip Frenzy down to Selena, taking a lot of damage. First is going to come out, but he's down. GankStars have found their second kill. Iraqi Zoro's dropping low. They'll find the kill, but a double kill comes out here for Xenotech. Can they take Lost Boy top? The Crystal Sentry wants some. Starting to get some. Trying to do it. Lost Boy top can make it happen. The ace, 4-1 for GankStars.
First ace of the game. They could get a turret this. They could also get the gold mine. That's going to be a massive gold lead going towards them. And I've got to say, it just looked very questionable at the start. Xenotech in the jungle of Tempo Storm, and we saw this really nice flank coming out from Tempo Storm onto Xenotech. But the thing is, with Akoshka, all three members of GankStars, great power spikes. They hadn't taken advantage of it, and we are beginning to see that power coming through right now.
It really is coming through in spades. They get the turret as well. And Shinji, we talked to all of these teams before the tournament started, and almost all of these teams unanimously said taking down that first turret is a big key to victory.
Oh, definitely, in terms of lane control, in terms of jungle control as well as a massive gold destroyer. Selena gets jumped on by Xenotech, takes a lot of damage.
Huge damage. Selena trying to stutter that, moving backwards. Selena with the self-heal. It's not enough. Xenotech has showed up 3-0-2. I think he's starting to answer those questions.
That's the focus. That is the issue with an Adagio on the team. He is very much a backline carry. He has to get his heal onto Hyde to try and land that fire onto all members of GankStars. But if you're on a 1v3 situation, that's not one you are going to win. And I think this is the problem. Tempo Storm, are they rotating as well as a team? Compared to GankStars right now, I don't think so.
Well, beautiful movement. The fights are going GankStars' way. And this is one of the things we look for, is you win a fight, you take an objective, and they've done it back-to-back now.
They have absolutely done it back-to-back. We are seeing that gold lead draw ahead to 3.4k gold lead. And it's actually beginning to show in the items. Irakizor, he's got the Sword Blade now, as well as the Attention, but that is a lot of weapon power damage coming out from him. And it's definitely reflecting in the damage. You know, one hit, and it's just shooting Selena down to about half health right now. And the thing is with Temple Storm, they haven't reached their power specs. As a Black Feather, you have to be very, very durable, very tanky. Currently, he's only really prioritized offense. He doesn't have that pauldrons yet, but never mind that. Temple Storm,
He's grumpy, the Pouncy Fun. Lost Boy Top's melting. Is that a Finn? Oh my goodness. Now Selena's the next target. He tries to get back. It's not enough. Double kill here for Irakizor. And they're going to think about going for Hyde. Hyde just a little too far back. And this is going to be a Crystal Sentry here. Fairly easy. The GankStars kind of thinking about it. It will be a Crystal Sentry. Another objective taken. Another team fight won.
yes, they have taken a lot so far off the map. And, you know, we're beginning... Temple Storm, I think the best idea for them right now to do is just to be a little bit more defensive, just kind of prioritizing just farming up, reaching that level 12 there, especially for Hyde and Selena, because Selena, we're not really getting that chance to see that CP Adagio really come through. And the moment we see that is when Hyde gets that Atlas Pauldrons and gets that Agent, so he can be very much in GankStars' face.
So, I mean, from your perspective right now, he gets to those two items. If they can play defensively, maybe not lose some fights until then, you're thinking this is a game that could definitely swing back the other way.
I mean, if you look at the composition, Finn.
Oh, I am.
Very funny. Finn there, very, very tanky. He is able to take that damage there and body block there from Irakizor. Hyde as well, once he gets his full items, also very, very tanky. Selena needs both of those, not only his jungler and his rogue captain, to be extremely tanky for these fights to go the way of Temple Storm.
Yeah, I do agree on that. And right now, you know, Shingy, I think one of the big things here, we talked about Wrecked. This is every time GankStars play, all of these players have an impact, but he's definitely a major player to watch here. It's been a phenomenal job, I think, leading his team into battle here. And Xenotech on the follow-up, 3-0-4 on his Koshka, 2-0-5 on the Grumshaw right now. 10.5 minutes in, and it feels like GankStars are just starting to build up the snowball.
They are beginning to build up the snowball. We see Wrecked, he's picked up the contraption, he has those 4 flares sitting in his inventory. They have a lot of control over the jungle. If you look at the map, we're seeing those scout traps appear over and over again. Temple Storm, they're being denied their farm, they're being denied their lane farm. And that gold is crept up, it's about 5k gold difference between the two teams. It's beginning to reflect. But Adagio here, he's gone for that crystal infusion that's sitting in the inventory. Maybe this is a sign that Temple Storm are ready to be looking for that fight.
All right, well, we do see the Atlas Pauldron that you mentioned before on Hyde, and that should play a big role. I mean, how does the Atlas Pauldron come into play here as you look to engage into GankStars, or, you know, maybe reverse an engagement from GankStars?
I think what you really want to be seeing is Hyde just jumping onto Irakizor, getting that pauldrons down on him, and at the same time, this requires a lot of team cohesion coming out, is that Selena uses his Gift of Fire onto Hyde so he can do a lot of the damage. He's got that broken myth, he can stack up a lot of damage that way, but Temple Storm, they've aggroed the gold miner, GankStars are going in!
Caught out and deleted right there! Oh, Selena's gonna try and start moving back with the aces high, aces hello, Irakizor, 3-1-4, 2 kills here, and it's just Lost Boy Top, tucking tail and running, Wrecked. He is grumpy through the wall. Gonna jump in. It's a resist by Lost Boy. Crystal Sentry's here. Trying to protect you, Lost Boy. Run, Lost Boy. He can't get away. And Hyde can't spawn soon enough. It's the ace for GankStars.
10-1 at 12 minutes. It's not feeling too good there for Temple Storm. And if we look at it, mobility, that's a very key factor. GankStars, they've gone for a very early, hyper-aggressive composition that's super mobile against Temple Storm, which I would definitely say is lacking in terms of base movement speed. They aren't able to escape as quickly. They aren't able to get that attack down as quickly as GankStars are able to. And I think that's a major reason why we are seeing GankStars doing so well in this game.
I mean, where is the damage coming from? It seemed like Hyde was there, and then he just had a respawn timer.
Well, look at the build. Hyde, he's gone for that Serpent's Mask. That is it in terms of damage. He's got the Book of Eulogies. He's got a lot of sustain. Are we seeing sustained fights? No, we are not. It's being very quick bursty damage. Looking at the GankStars build, Aftershock, Tensionable, Sword Blade, these are all items that are designed for that heavy, immediate burst. Temple Storm aren't able to survive so far. Yes, they do have a healer, but he's not really landing those heals right now. Let's be honest about that.
Whew. This is a tense situation here for Tempo Storm. Maybe working out those nerves here in game 1, of course. But and we talked about maybe them having an advantage if we did get into a late game scenario. I mean, would you say that's the case? Are GankStars too far ahead at this point?
I don't think there's such a thing as too far ahead. There is definitely a chance for Temple Storm to come back into this, but is this the way for them to come back in?
Now Hyde Rose offensive. He did get the Atlas Pauldron off onto the Gwen, but the Aces High connects.
Oh, no!
He's going to get the Rose offensive one more time. They're trying to get the heal. It is not enough. Hyde has dropped again. He's trying to do his best with the burst coming up with the Julian, but again, they're going to get the ace. GankStars! I did not see this coming.
4 consecutive aces. What? Okay, let's just break that fight down. Reg taking Selena out of the fight straight away, and as an Adagio who is sitting safely in the backline, if you are able to get that, take him away and push him right in the middle, that is not where an Adagio wants to be. Try to land that burst of judgment. Again, got burst down too quickly. He has no defense to survive this incredible burst coming out from GankStars.
I mean, I don't think Lost Boy even has enough time to think about selling the Iron Guard contract, as they barely make their way out from base, and GankStars finding the engage, although I gotta say, Hyde did such an incredible job there, but even more incredible of a job coming from Iraqi to land that ace high onto him after the engage.
There is a lot of crowd control on the side of GankStars, and I think that's something we definitely need to talk about. You've got the aces high, as you said, the Yummy Cannon Frenzy, and as well as that, you've got the stuff. And if you look at Lost Boy stuff, he's got the Crucible, and Selena, he's got that reflex block. That is not enough to block everything coming out of GankStars. But never mind that, Xenotech's jumping in again!
He's jumped in. The Atlas Pauldron has been applied. Hyde trying to do his best, but he's in and out of the fight, trying to find the on points, going to land, but he's down again. Hyde, that's not what you wanted. Yummy Cannon Friend's gonna be blocked off. Selena, can he get back to the healing platform? No, he can't. Lost Boy top, almost gets there's your force. The Lost Boy top! He's starting to make the plays that he is so well known for. And you gotta be careful. That is such a bold move to be going up against the Finn right there.
That was an incredibly bold move. Great reaction there from Lost Boy Top, using his Force Accord to pull in Xenotech there. And, you know, it wasn't really expected. Rector had already used the Crucible at that point. So, yeah, that is one kill bounty going into Temple Storm. But at this point, Hyde, he needs to get that Aegis. You know, Koshka is doing so much damage against him in every single team fight. He's not getting the chance to get that lifesteal back from his Serpent's Mask. And what we really want to be seeing is that peel. We want to be seeing that Gwen focused in really, really quickly because she's very squishy. But the thing is, Xenotech and Rek, they're very much just kind of front-lining there for GankStars.
So here's my question, all right? You said Hyde, he needs to complete this Aegis. But do they have enough damage to find kills if he does so?
I'm not sure.
The real questions.
I'm gonna be quite honest here. I am not sure that they have it right now because I'm gonna look at the positioning here coming out from Temple Storm. Selena, he is doing his very best to stay in the back line, but he is just being displaced every single time, and we're about to see that right now.
The crack in. It's Lost Boy on the front line. We're just going to kill the Finn right here.
Oh.
Lost Boy standing his ground. Hyde, he's into the backside. Yummy Catnip Frenzy's connected. Hyde dropping low. Hyde's going to go down. That Atlas Pauldron landing on all three one more time. Xenotech is so incredibly on point. This is like the best I've seen him play all season. Selena goes down as well. Kind of a big deal. Yeah, I'd say so. Another ace. 18-2. GankStars.
11k gold lead there. I think this could be the game closing match. We do have 14 seconds left on the clock for Hyde, but with the amount of damage there on GankStars, I don't think that we're going to be seeing much of a defense being put up here by Temple Storm in this last push as we see the final wave of minions going in.
Well, they're going to need a godly defense. We see the split push here on both turrets to go ahead and keep those respawn timers as long as possible. They are on to the Vein Crystal. Rekt, he's stuffed up. He's like, how about you don't? We're going to go ahead and take this Vein Crystal down. We're going to take game one and talk about tempo. That's how you come out right there.
That is exactly how you come out there for GankStars. What a start. What a great first game for this series there. And got to put a lot into Rekt every single time. Landing that stuffed every single time on Selena. Absolutely game-changing in those team fights.
I mean, so many things went their way. We saw the early game aggression out of the Koshka. We saw Ace's high landing. The Yummy Catnip Frenzy's landing. The Atlas Pauldron's landing. I don't know if they had made more than just a couple mistakes that game. It was just phenomenal.
I feel like the blocks just weren't coming out. You know, we did see Selena. He had the block. He could have blocked those stuff every single time. That just wasn't coming through. Maybe it's above nerves coming through. Who knows?
All right. Well, maybe we have some guys to break that one down for us. So with that, let's go ahead and throw it back to our analyst desk.
Thank you very much, guys. And what a way to start this series. Commanding victory coming out from GankStars right there. And honestly, it's all about Xenotech right now. 100% kill participation. We mentioned the NA Koshka. That is a masterclass right there.
Absolutely is. I mean, the NA Koshka being showcased here by GankStars, but also, again, the question mark about Temple Storm. If you take away Glaive and Kestrel, can Hyde still perform? Didn't look like it in game number 1.
Yeah, and GankStars, just the rotation, that pressure early in, getting 4 kills before that 7-minute mark, getting that first turret before the 8-minute mark, they really executed that comp so well. And that synergy, the stuns with the Koshka follow-up, with the stuffed, I mean, whoever they focus just literally vaporized.
Yeah, and look at the difference in the items. You have 4 completed Tier 3 items for Xenotech. Hyde only 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the ridiculous lead in a nutshell. More kills than minutes coming out there. That is a phenomenal victory for GankStars. And importantly, that is going to do phenomenal things for their momentum, right? Their morale coming into this next game, knowing that you not only won the first game, but dominated the first game.
Yeah, I mean, the one saving grace here for Tempo Storm is that now that they're going to be on A side, they can guarantee themselves either a Kesh or a Glaive pickup for Hyde to get him onto one of those comfort picks, try and get some momentum going in the series. But they really need to start over from the draft, because this game was essentially over when the draft finished.
Absolutely. Well, we do have a replay of that game. So, Suijay, could you take us through this fight?
Yeah, this was a critical fight at the 13-minute mark, and this one secures the game when they just basically focus down Hyde. You can see Xeno there jumping on and just basically jumping back to help Haraki.
Yeah.
And then Hyde is basically deleted, and then Adagio isn't able to get his ult off in time. So great synergy there, great focus. You can tell that they're communicating really well. Adagio kind of went to the right and wasn't being focused, and he kind of was out of the fight. So I think Tempo Storm needs to focus on their shot calling and their communication.
And I mean, you can see that the shot calling for GankStars is great, because in that clip, especially, Adagio starts channeling his ult. Immediately, everyone jumps on him, deletes him before he can get that ability off. We are going to be going into next draft. And I think, honestly, in this next one, Onus is going to be on Lost Boy Toph, right? This guy is a playmaker. We know him as a playmaker. We know him as honestly, one of the best captains in the world, right? And we saw a glimmer of that when he got that hook onto his own and when he almost takes out the team, but it wasn't quite enough to take the series, or to take the game at least.
And they're going to go ahead, ban away the Grumpjaw. The Kestrel gets banned out immediately from GankStars. No surprise there. I would have to assume again that Tempo Storm are going to first pick the Glaive, because if they don't, then it's going to go over to GankStars, so they go ahead and grab that for themselves.
Yeah, then that makes Lyra open on GankStar's side and Koshka, and that's a very strong combination. So I think they may pick Koshka here, and then they have a lot of other captains to pick from, like Arden, Lyra, Lance, depending on what's banned or what's not banned. They may ban Finn and not give it to Toph, because Toph is very proficient on that Finn. Or they may just take away Gwen, for example, and not give it to Selena. So they're going to go with the Gwen here, because they can, again, play Baron with Koshka, which is going to work really, really well for them. So let's see if Tempo Storm is going to go ahead and ban that Baron away. Yeah,
we'll see what Tempo Storm are going to go for a ban on here, but you've got to be a little bit nervous with Tempo Storm, seeing that Koshka go through once again for GankStars after such a commanding performance from Xeno. You've got to expect that he's looking to do the exact same thing again. Looking at Tempo Storm then, for their final 2 picks, what kind of composition do they have to build here to go against that Koshka?
You need to have something that can either fight the Koshka early, or that can survive the Koshka early, even if you're not looking for fights, but it's just going to be able to extend the game a little bit longer. You can almost guarantee that the Glaive is going to go into the jungle, so that kind of makes the rest of the draft a little bit easier for GankStars, because they have such a good idea of what's going to be coming.
Yeah, and Adagio's open here. So Adagio can be picked with Koshka, which is very strong. Koshka just excels so well. Oh, Lyra's open. Yeah, Lyra will definitely be picked here over Adagio for sure, because Lyra Koshka is just so strong early game. Lots of lane pressure, lots of jungle pressure. And I think most likely they're going to go with this Lyra pick, and then last pick, a lot of open potential laners for Iraqi.
Yeah, and I think as well with that last pick, you kind of want to see what Tempo Storm are going to go for with their 2 picks and cater it around that one. It is going to be the Lyra, as you mentioned, locked on in, and now Tempo Storm. You realize you're against a Koshka Lyra, which is a terrifying combo already.
Not just a Koshka Lyra, Xenotech's Koshka and Rect's Lyra.
Absolutely, and we've talked about Rekt. Rekt is such a strong player, such a strong captain as well. We've already said, like, Lost Boy Toph, a supreme captain, right? But then he's kind of matched on the other side. Rekt isn't exactly someone you can sniff at.
Yeah, I think Arden should be picked here with Vox. Arden is going to be good to keep Vox alive when Koshka dives in. So I think Vox, Koshka would make, I mean, Vox, Arden would make the most sense for Tempo Storm. They can go with Finn, but again, Finn rotates really slow. He's really weak early, and Arden is much more mobile. And Gauntlets are game-changing, depending on how Toph can land them. So I feel like they're probably going to go with Adagio or Arden here.
They could also go with a Lance, because Lance can do very well against the Koshka, and it is one of the picks that they played a bit of during their second split, but it is going to be the Arden here. So, like you said, it's the potential to shut down GankStars is still there with this hero.
Yeah, Iraqi has Black Feather, he has Ringo, he has a lot of options that he can pick from in lane, but I feel like most likely it's either going to be the BF or the Ringo here, or even Idris if he wants to be a little more risky. So he has a few good weapon power carries to pick from for him here.
Yeah, there's still a lot still on the table. Honestly, I'm really impressed by this draft by GankStars, right? They managed to get not only the Koshka Lyra, but also they still have a wide range of options available that Iraqi is going to be very comfortable on as well. Like, looking at these two drafts at this stage, once we see this final lock-in, like, do we feel like GankStars have kind of taken this draft away again? Do we feel like this is looking towards a 2-0?
I don't know if it's going to be quite so clear-cut this time around, because Hyde is on that comfort pick, and the Rona going to come out. That's a bit of a surprise.
We did see a lane Rona earlier.
Specialty.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. It was in Europe, though. The lane Rona has been a European specialty. This time around, I'm not quite sure if it's going to be able to get the win, because the Glaive Arden can set up Vox for kills extremely easily.
What do you think, Switch?
Yeah, Rona is a very interesting pick. I think they may have threw draft a little bit because Vox is so mobile. He can get away from Rona on top of Arden and Glaive after burning Rona out of her ultimate. I've never seen Iraqi play Rona, so maybe it's like a trump card that he's pulling out. We'll have to see. So it's very interesting, and they can go CP Vox into a double melee here and go Weapon Glaive, which is going to work really well for them too. So Tempo Storm has options that they can try.
Well, we'll have to be watching out for this one. I want you guys at home to keep your eyes on that Koshka. It ran away with game 1. We'll see if they can continue the snowball for game 2, or whether it's going to be Tempo cooking up a storm. Let's pass it over to our casters.
Well, our delicious analyst desk, Munchables, Tasty Bacon, and, well, Sweet J there, but delicious
Sweet,
analysis.
generous.
We are 1-0 up for GankStars here in the series. I mean, going into the second match here, do you think Tempo Storm have the picks they need to find the win?
Let's just put it like this. Hyde has his Glaive. He may not have that CP caster, but he has that Glaive, and that, I feel, is enough for Tempo Storm to ride this to victory.
Ride it to victory. Well, we'll see if he can do it. I mean, we did see Sweet J kind of hesitating there on the Rona pick, and it seems like the Glaive could do pretty well finding those ganks in the lane there.
I'm gonna agree with you. So one good thing that what we're seeing from GankStars is with that Koshka and with that Rona is that they have extremely great target focus. If all 3 of the members decide to converge on one person on the side of Tempo Storm, it's a very high chance they're going to pick up that kill. Now the issue here is Tempo Storm, they have a great peel with that Glaive and with that Arden.
Right.
And then you've also got this Vox who's very mobile. Unlike the Adagio from the previous game where he wasn't able to escape, this time he has a good chance with that Silence and with that Sonic Zoom.
Okay, all right, we've got the target focus and the damage from GankStars. We've got the peel and the mobility for Tempo Storm. Match number 2, let's get it going here. Both teams making their way out onto the full. Xingyi, how will these first few minutes play out?
GankStars being aggressive, that is all I want to see. With that Koshka, with that Lyre, you've got that sustain, you've got the damage that you need. Just pressure Tempo Storm. And we're actually going to be beginning to see this as Rect goes into the side of Tempo Storm. I don't know what he's planning, but there is a scout up there, so Lost Boy Toph knows exactly what's up.
And Rekt does as well. I swear, between Lost Boy Toph and Rekt, these captains like to play more games than almost anybody. But both back camps split between Hyde and Selena there. They're going to move forward. I think that does go over to Hyde. And this will be GankStars moving off the backside of their farm as well. Iraqi up in the lane. He's got 4 healing potions. He's got the Book of Eulogies. This is all about just sustaining himself in the lane.
That's exactly what they're going to be trying to do. And also, I think they're going to find a really difficult time trying to find the kill into Selena in the early stages of the game. Because Selena, he also has that Sonic Zoom, but he's also got the Vanguard coming out from Lost Boy Toph. And not only that, he's got the Protector's Contract as well, which synergizes so well with that Vanguard, giving you that extra bit of like kind of buff there to keep you alive just that little bit longer.
Lost Boy moves forward, Pouncy Fun, Xenotech, he's on to Selena. Selena moves back. He's going to do just fine there. So they find a little bit of damage, but don't want to engage underneath that turret, at least not just yet. So both teams getting a feel for the other here in the first few minutes of this game as we approach the 2-minute mark. Rekt using that sigil again. Once again, he throws it into that brush. He gets vision. A little bit of harass there, but more is just the knowledge gained. He's going to try and abuse that Lyra in the lane. You see Vox having a hard time, but Lost Boy flexing on. Oh, making a hide! There's your afterburn. A nice out of the fray by Iraqi Zor. That's actually something that could be very good. Like, you get afterburn back, you just into the fray, into a defensive direction.
That is very, very true. Actually, I think both of the teams are going to have a really tough time trying to find the gank on either Selena or Iraqi Zoro there because they have great escape. Actually, Xenotech's coming up behind Temple Storm.
Yeah, Pounce of Fun, Twirly Death, a lot of damage coming out. Iraqi Zoro uses into the fray very offensively. Can't get in position to find any damage there, but, you know, no harm, no foul on that one. Still 0-0, 2.5 minutes in here.
Yep, it's very, very close so far. We're not seeing that much pressure being put on the jungle. We're seeing a lot of focus on the lane. A lot of the junglers are both coming up to the lane to try and get those ganks down, but both times they have been unsuccessful.
All right, well, we do see, I was starting to question what builds are we going to see out of this Vox, out of this Glaive, but it looks like they're definitely going to be going down a more standard route of builds here. I mean, what would you expect to see on this Vox here? The sustain build has been something that's been super popular lately. Would it make sense in this game?
I think so. The Poison Shiv, definitely, especially against that Lyra, you can mitigate the healing coming out from her, and that makes it a little bit more difficult for GankStars to sustain through those team fights. And probably will be expecting that Tornado Trigger as well. Very, very popular pickup for Vox in this update, especially, you know, it's had its buffs. You get a little bit of increased critical chance there, and of course you get that attack damage. And going against Arona and going against Koshka, it's very easy to get that damage down.
Yeah, it definitely can be, as long as they haven't locked you down. Rekt playing from range, trying to abuse that range of the Lyra, but down in the jungle at Xenotech. Xenotech's been spotted. Afterburn back, he just jumps onto Selena. He does not care right now. Rekt, he's in a bad position. Rekt, he's trying to get himself out of here. He's taking a lot of damage. There's a sigil. Can he boost himself out? Uses just on the edge. Can he get out of this one? Hide. Doesn't have the afterburn.
Oh, no.
Tries to get in position. He can't do it. Rekt, he knows how to push this Lyra to the limits. And let's talk about this Stormguard banner pickup.
That is absolute textbook Rekt. Absolute textbook Rekt. He goes for that Stormcrown very early to apply that pressure onto the lane, and I think maybe that's why we're seeing a lot of focus coming out from GankStars onto the lane. If they can keep pushing that tower, and if he can get the damage down, GankStars have a very good chance of pushing it. Unfortunately, Tempo Storm, great defense there, and it's preventing Rekt from happening, and if they're keeping it long enough, that Stormcrown, is it going to be as useful? Oh no, Rekt!
Oh, yes, Rekt! Afterburn knocks him into the safety of his own turret after he takes the mid. This is why he is known as one of the best captains in the world, making the plays. And, you know, Tasty Bacon said it, you got Xenotech on the Koshka, but this is Rekt on his Lyra, and it is so dangerous.
There's a lot of comfort picks coming out there for both of the teams. Xenotech, he might be looking for that 1v3, he might be looking for that jungle invade. It looks like they're just going to group up in the shop. I think Rekt might have enough gold there for that Stormcrown. Yes, he does. He does pick that up. This is a very, very good opportunity. We can see that Poison Shiv coming out. Really good chance. I think they'll have a really good chance of doing well in the team fights.
So you said the Stormcrown is going to help him apply pressure. How is it going to help him apply that pressure?
Well, it does. Okay, so although it got nerfed a little bit, you know, it's still really good at pushing down objectives like the turrets, the gold mine, the Kraken.
Right.
And with that poke coming from Lyra, she's got a decent amount of base damage even as a captain. And if GankStars can really force Tempo Storm either back to their
Xenotech on the top side. Tempo Storm moving in. Xenotech, he's looking for the Yummy Catnip Frenzy. Hits onto the Vox. Vox taking a lot of damage. Iraqi Zoro's in. He's taking damage as well. First blood going over to the Rona, but Glaive finds the return kill. A 1-for-1 as this game starts to blow open here. 5.5 minutes in, we see Hyde having the afterburn up, looking for a target here, but just waiting to pull the trigger.
Are just waiting here. A really nice 1-for-1 trade there. Maybe not exactly what GankStars was looking for. Hyde, is this the best idea?
It's a reposition and a knockback. Xenotech feeling himself as he moves forward, getting nice damage out. And there you go. That's the sigil out of the Lyra, and one of the reasons he doesn't need the foul. Oh my Z! You just got Xeno wrecked! Hyde, what is going on right now?
I think he just overstayed his welcome a bit too long, trying to pick up the kill there onto Xenotech. But this plays right into GankStars' hand. All three members looking very healthy. They have that Lyra. This could be a really good chance for them to try and take that gold mine, which is about half full, nice, 450 gold going towards their side if they are able to take it. It looks like they're going to be going for that turret. Instead, they're going for the kill!
Alright, he jumps in! These guys have turned up. This is the best play I have seen out of GankStars in the entire season. And hey, why not show up and play your best at the live event? Maybe taking a page out of Immortal's book here.
Oh, well, this could be a very, very good series there. Wrecked. He's just keeping that lane. They're toned down a little bit. I feel like it's we're seeing them just taking a back. You know, they're taking the back seat. They're gonna chill for a little bit.
I love the calming tone that you've brought in here.
I was like, that was a little bit too exciting for it. It's
up.
only 7 minutes. It's only 7 minutes. We just have to turn it down a little bit.
So Wrecked with the Storm Crown has done such a great job thus far. Bright Bulwark down very defensively. They want to prevent more damage down onto this turret. At this point, it looks like they've done so. Xenotech moving up into the lane. Pouncy Fun into a good position, right back under the turret. Now you see Koshka using that move speed so incredibly well to be in and out of these fights. And this just, it appears to be something that the GankStars squad has really worked on here.
Yes, that is the power of Koshka. So even though Koshka took a little bit of a hit in the last update, still incredibly strong. You know, we're still seeing a lot of the NA teams playing her, but what I really want to emphasize in this particular game is Xenotech level 8.
Wow.
And Hyde, you know, the counterpart jungler there, level 6. That is a massive difference. You're going to have a great power spike from that, and that is showing. That 45 CS to Hyde's 18. That is definitely showing in the team fights.
It definitely is. But as we talk about levels, I look at Lost Boy Toph hitting level 6. Now that has the impact of a gauntlet coming out in these fights. What is that going to mean for Tempo Storm?
That gauntlet. So the gauntlet is great for peeling it. So you can either use it defensively. If GankStars decide to say, okay, we're going to go for Hyde or we're going to go for Selena, you throw down that gauntlet, prevent that from happening. Or you can use it very offensively to target down. I would say actually Xenotech, I would say he's the most squishiest. He's not the most sustainable in those team fights. And never mind Hyde!
Yeah, Hyde's caught out here. Hyde taking a lot of damage. Fountain comes out, but it's not going to keep him alive even with the Protector contract. Selena, that is not going to keep you safe, my friend. Lost Boy Toph. 104 seconds on the gauntlet. And Xenotech, why don't you just dive under that turret? Oh, actually, he's taking a lot of damage. Xenotech, all calculated. He's going to get through it. But Araki Zoro's here, trying to chase down Lost Boy. Lost Boy doing a good job to buy time for his team. Foe Splitter's there, and that is going to be a kill for Araki Zoro. 6-1. GankStars up with the kill lead here in match number 2 once again.
It's eerily familiar to the last game, actually. Very, very similar in the playstyles that we are seeing coming out from GankStars. I do feel that Tempo Storm have upped the momentum a little bit, but so far it's not working so well. I feel like we're seeing some mispositions coming out from Tempo Storm. I'll say in the last fight when we did see Lost Boy Tom throw out the gauntlet, I would say Selena was in a great position with that silence to actually just take down at least one of the members of GankStars, but he just wasn't able to reposition himself well enough, and that was a pivotal mistake.
A pivotal mistake, but also feeling like GankStars set themselves up for that advantage. I'm incredibly impressed with their rotations, their aggression, and one of the things, you don't engage like that without incredible communication. And this is one of the teams that's been in a team house this last season, and I think that's starting to show off here.
It definitely is. There's a lot of cohesion coming out. And GankStars, that's something we saw at the start of the season, is that they played incredibly, incredibly well. A significant improvement from previous seasons. It's looking very, very strong for them. And actually, they're going in again on Tempo Storm. The stun comes out!
It's going to be blocked off by Selena. A very nice job. Selena, one of those mechanically gifted players, able to hit that reflex block pretty easily. And that's the Arcane Passage back, where it's not really a problem that it's used, but they won't have that tool available as Gauntlet will be coming up in 10 seconds. It's an easy escape method for them out of that Gauntlet a lot of times. GankStars move forward. They take away the mid from Tempo Storm, doing a good job. Moving up into this left mustache brush here. Thinking better of it. That felt like a bold move.
It did feel like a very bold move. Actually, the GankStars are setting themselves up for another team fight. But Tempo Storm, I'm definitely sensing a change in how they're playing. They're playing a lot more passively, a lot more defensively. If you look at them, the three of them, every time they are up in the lane, they are sticking together. And that is to prevent those kills coming out from GankStars. However, the issue is, if you do look at Hyde, his CS, 23 to Xenotech 62, and Xenotech is still, actually, never mind. So it's okay. Hyde is going to get away this time. But if you look at it, Hyde, he does have he has a fair amount of damage there with that Aftershock and the Storm Crown. That's a lot of burst coming out from him. But defensive-wise, I think there's a very good reason why Xenotech is able to do so much, because there's no defense there practically.
Well, there is a protector contract, the Vanguard coming out of Lost Boy. It's a bit of survivability for Tempo Storm, and as the cooldown on Hyde's Afterburn gets shorter and Selena starts to build more and more damage, it does feel like Tempo Storm have the ability to swing one of these fights in their favor. When we see the level 9 infusion coming out of Selena, I feel like this is a pretty smart move. What do you think?
It's a pretty smart move. Selena, if he stays well in this team fight, stays far back enough, lets Hyde and Lost Boy tough and pure for him, he has a chance with that breaking point to build a lot of breaking point stacks there. The problem is Hyde going to be able to survive long enough? Is Lost Boy Tough going to survive long enough? You know, Lost Boy Tough is faced with the decision: do I keep Hyde alive and let him, you know, exert his burst damage out, or do I try and keep Selena alive? And that's a very difficult decision to make at this point.
Well, another difficult thing out on this map right now. Wrecked. I mean, look at this. He's got the Fountain, the Storm Crown, and the Atlas Pauldron complete. He had that at like 11.5 minutes. I mean, this is just a phenomenal game. So to have those items on Wrecked, on his comfort pick, does not bode well for Tempo Storm at this point.
I'm going to have to agree with you there. If you look at Lost Boy Tough, yes, it does not quite measure up there. And if Wrecked, which I completely expect him to do this kind of strategy, is to use a very aggressive portal, throw the Bulwark down, and land that Pauldrons there onto Selena. That mitigates a lot of the damage coming out from Selena. And that will force a disengage coming out from Tempo Storm.
And one of the other things is, I mean, this is the second Atlas Pauldron for his team, as Iraqi Zoro has his own right now. So you might be able to block one, blocking two is going to be incredibly hard, and then at the same time, you're worried about the Yummy Catnip Frenzy. This is a tough situation for Selena to be in.
It's very tough. Selena, he does have that reflex block available, and unlike the other game, there is only kind of one main form of CC there, which is the Yummy Catnip Frenzy, as you mentioned. If he is able to block that Yummy Catnip Frenzy, he is able to back away in time. One thing I do want to point out, just looking at the map as it is right now, even though it does feel like GankStars, they're pulling ahead with the gold lead, they're pulling ahead with the kill lead, Tempo Storm are the ones that have done the most damage onto the turrets.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a very good point. And we talked about Rex going with the Storm Crown first. A lot of times, the idea was to put pressure out onto objectives. And, you know, he's been able to steal away a couple camps, but this isn't the kind of game for Rex where we've seen him take down turrets in 4 or 5 minutes with this build.
Yes, Wrecked is going the gold miner right now. I'm not sure if this is just a bit of bait coming out there, but Tempo Storm, they do know what's happening here. I think this could be a play.
Pretty insane damage coming out of Wrecked here. He could essentially solo this gold miner if given the opportunity, but Iraqi moves in. Iraqi's going to be infused up level 11. Tempo Storm thinking about moving in. They don't quite have the vision there. The wait for it's going to come through. Koshka grabs that gold mine to jump right back in with the Atlas and Fountain coming out. Wrecked keeps him alive with the gauntlet down. Oh, the arcade passage right on out of that gauntlet. How about a free ride over to safety? But there's your afterburn. Hello, I'm Hyde. This is my glaive. He's looking for more. They're locked onto Iraqi Zoro. Iraqi trying to trade into the fray. Gets a little bit of help. He does. Redman's come out. He's looking for more. Lost Boys down. Get in. It's on Wrecked right now. Hyde, he did such a good job in the beginning of this fight, but can't handle the Rona. Triple kill here for Iraqi Zoro.
What was that coming from Iraqi Zoro? 1v3ing the members of Tempo Storm. It was looking so good for them. They're picking up the kill there. They picked one up on Xenotech. But Iraqi Zoro, they underestimated the sustain coming out from that red mist.
I was going to say turn up, but turn down. GankStars almost too hot right now.
Hold up. Selena, he's got the massive jacket. Hyde has Alice Pauldrons. You cannot say that they did not have the defense for that.
They did not have enough defense for that. And that is a true statement. As GankStars, they go ahead and they win the fight. They take away half the jungle here from Tempo Storm. Once again, they're taking away resources from Tempo Storm across the map when given the opportunity. Phenomenal job right here. These next few minutes are going to be crucial.
It is absolutely going to be crucial. We do see Tempo Storm. They are going to go back home. And this actually is a very good opportunity for GankStars to start the Kraken. Tempo Storm, they do need to be very careful about what they're doing, their positioning-wise, because it's so easy for GankStars just to turn on the two members of Tempo Storm.
Once again, though, I mean, you're dealing with this cooldown glaive over here. This is one of the easiest heroes to move in and steal a Kraken with if given the opportunity. And we know what Hyde can do here. GankStars, they are taking this Kraken very low, but Xenotech jumps in. They're engaging. Lost Boy taking a lot of damage. They switch it. Yummy Catnip Frenzy locking Lost Boy down long enough to get onto target here. It's Hyde, the main target. Afterburn's going to get him into a better position. Xenotech not in the greatest there. He's going to buff himself up, looking for a target. With Crystal Sentry's doing a good job. They moved in. Selena raced off the map. They're on to Hyde now. Hyde, he doesn't have enough energy. Hyde's down. Double kill for Xenotech. 3-1-5. They're going to get another one. They get the ace. This is going to be a Crystal Sentry. Shingy, this is going to be a Kraken as well. GankStars just blew this map wide open.
Oh, they blew it wide open, and I've got to say a lot. I hope the North American teams are taking note about this lane Rona working. She has the ability to close the gap. She has the ability to pick up those kills even when the other team is prioritizing heavy defense against it. And I really hope we're going to be seeing a lot of lane Rona tomorrow, because this is going to be the start of the meta for the championships this weekend.
If this is how Xenotech plays when he's ill, I feel like he should make the point to just get sick before every tournament.
I wouldn't advise that personally, Humanist, but okay.
As a doctor, I'll take your advice on that one. But I just got to say, he's playing phenomenally. 3-1-6 right now. He's go ahead and picked up a second infusion for himself. He'll go and sit on that one until he needs it. I mean, when you're picking up your infusion, you're already infused. You know you're in a good place.
Oh yes, all three members of GankStars, they are infused, and you know, Selena and Hyde, the only 2 out of the 3 there. But in terms of damage, they don't quite have it there, and the peel as well. Iraqi Zor, he's just doing such a good job of bypassing the afterburns, the gauntlets. You know, Rex is doing such a good job in that first turret.
Turret just getting melted. This choke point turret, such an important objective to take down. And as the Kraken marches forward, GankStars look for that opening. That's the infusion out of Xenotech here. The Atlas Pauldron landing onto 3. Wait for it's going to come through as well. Not really quite connecting the way they wanted to. Vein Crystal turret absolutely melted. Gauntlet down. GankStars trapped inside. But who's trapped inside with who right now? Trying to get the damage here. Foe Splitter, Iraqi Zoro into the fray. Onto target. Lost Point Top melted.
Selena.
No War Treads. No Crucible used. And Kraken will die. This last Vein Crystal turret's on a deliver health. Rex takes it. Of course he takes it. What else would he do in a situation like this? Red Mist spin to win, as my man Four-Core Jester would say. And Rex, he's going to try and solo it down. He's on the Vein Crystal turret. That's not, it's not going to be, I'm sorry, Rex. It was a nice try. Tempo Storm, they hold with the defense just there at the end, but they are backs against the wall like no other time.
They are in such a precarious position right now. Yes, they may have prevented that game from finishing just there, but we do have to realize that there is a Lyra on the other side. They can portal over the wall. There is a Rona who can use her into the fray. This defense is, you know, we're going to have to see this hard push come out from Temple Storm to close this gold gap, close the turret discrepancy.
I mean, Rekt is one of those players. I mean, especially because he's the Lyra player, but he's one of those guys that loves the backdoor.
I don't know if this is a good idea. I feel like Temple Storm a little bit too far ahead. I don't know if they can face this fight just yet. What we want to be seeing is what we saw the last time, is Selena to build up those 20 breaking point stacks with that infusion. That is an opportunity for Temple Storm to be picking those fights.
So, you need the breaking point stacks to be maxed out. How do you achieve that in this fight? I mean, it feels like there's so much damage coming out of GankStars. You're always on the back foot.
Well, that's what the Glaive and the Ardent is about. It's about that peel. It's about that Vanguard just boosting Selena to safety every single time. And Hyde with the Aftershock, the Halcyon charges, and the Stormcry. That's a lot of cooldown available, and that's a lot of energy regeneration as well, to allow him to use those repeated afterburns, which cooldown-wise is actually relatively short.
You know, as we were sitting, up in the stands watching all of the series previously today, many times, multiple players sat there and said, you know what, if they just picked up a null wave gauntlet right now, they could just shut this captain down. Look what Rex got here. Got that null wave gauntlet. Let's see how he's going to go ahead and use it. Gauntlet's down. They want to protect this Crystal Sentry here. Rex doing a pretty good job as well. The wait for it does come through. They silence Dusty. Very nice job with the Yomi Captain Frizzy. It does connect. They're trying to get onto Selena. Atlas Pauldron lands onto 3. Good job by Xenotech one more time, but the Red Mist comes out. Rona finds the kill. They've lost their Vox. That was the key to victory here. They've lost Point Top. Oh, it's falling apart here. As Xenotech goes down, Hyde can feel good about that one, but a tough situation. He gets the Afterburn. There's your Arcane Passage over the wall. You cannot stop the Lyra from doing that. We knew it was going to happen. Iraqi locked onto the Vein Crystal. Here, it's going to be the best defense out of Hyde, but it's not going to be enough at the end of the day. Look at the damage coming out. GankStars, how about one more time? And this is going to put them up 2-0 over Tempo Storm. One more victory, and they could just be walking away with a shutout in this series. Pretty unbelievable.
They are riding this momentum. If they can keep going and get that third game into the bag, that is them safely in tomorrow. But I've got to say, Tempo Storm do look very strong, much stronger than they did in the first game. And, you know, the Glaive, I just feel in the end, GankStars, their synergy, their cohesion was much better. They knew at the very end that they had to focus on that Vox, and they did it so well. Selena just did not have a chance. He was constantly on the run.
Well, they were on the run. I am going to be on the run to get a drink of water here for a sec. In this moment, we'll go ahead and have our guys at the analyst desk break this one down.
Thank you very much, guys. Well, we've seen 2 out of the 3 players on GankStars just carry a game now, because that was the Iraqi Zoro show. 12-2-2 on that Rona. What a performance out of him.
Absolutely incredible. I mean, they had the Poison Shiv on the Vox, which you need against a Rona Lyra, but they did such a good job of making Selena a non-factor in this game. You know, the Poison Shiv, it does do great work in stopping the healing, but if you blow up the Vox, you don't have to worry about those mortal wounds coming out any longer, and Iraqi Zoro was able to just completely take advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, we were questioning the lane Rona at the start of that game. What was it about it that made it so effective in this one?
Yeah, I'm going to backtrack my statement there. Iraqi played Rona so well, and his build, I love his lifesteal build. He just didn't die sometimes, and Tempo Storm bunched up a lot, and the timing and when he ulted and the use of his abilities, he always landed his into the fray, which actually slows the person he's hitting. And he was able to get so much attack speed that it resets his foe splitter. So he's able to use that so many times, and his ultimates were just on point. I mean, they did such a good job executing that composition. And Xenotech landed a lot of key Koshka ultimates as well that stunned Tempo Storm's carries.
And on the build as well, that breaking point just to round things out. So even though all of these fights were going long, that breaking point meaning that it's going to be stacking up that entire time. And well, I mean, that's all she wrote for the scoreboard, because it was all Iraqi Zoro on that one. So we've had Xenotech carry, we've had Iraqi Zoro carry. We know that Rekt is a superstar player. I want to see him be the all-star for this next game and make it a clean trio with each of them taking one for themselves.
Yeah, we had a lot of questions coming into this series. A lot of them have been answered, but a new one has definitely come to my mind, and that is, where has this GankStars team been? Like the second, even 3 quarters of the season. If they had played the way they are playing today, they would have easily been in the top 2, I think.
I mean, we mentioned the Immortals land buff. Maybe GankStars have the same thing. Well, we do have a replay from that game of one of the team fights that was just, it looked like it was already lost for this one.
Yeah, this is such a crazy and key team fight for GankStars here. You can see that they're positioning, they're getting ready to go in. Xenotech procs his B, and look at that. Look at the focus that they have. Like, Rekt is almost dead, but barely gets out. And then look at Iraqi. He 3-man ults, and then they turn this around somehow. And Iraqi just carries on this Rona so hard. 2v3, and he still gets the ace with this run. And look at the lifesteal that she's getting. And he landed that into the fray, slowed the Vox, and then ultimate, and Arden just eats that ultimate, and then he seals the deal with Killing Hyde there.
Yeah, and it just goes back to the build again, right? In that situation, 2v1, they can't out-damage the lifesteal and the fortified health coming through. And how do you even deal with that in that situation?
You need to figure out a way to get more sustained damage so that the Rona is constantly taking damage. Whereas what they had here, it made it such a smart pick. I didn't realize it until, you know, shortly after the game started, that, you know, Hyde is the main carry for Tempo Storm. He is the playmaker, he's the one who sets everything up. With him on the glaive, it was going to be that crystal utility glaive, which is about burst. Yeah. If you survive that burst and then start life-stealing, there's nothing they were able to do, and that was why that Rona worked so well.
Absolutely. Well, earlier on today, I mentioned how Lost Boy Toph is the anchor that this team has been built around. Tempo Storm, that is. We need to see him rallying his troops right now. They've got to keep morale high going into this one. We've already seen one game go 2-0 and then almost go for the reverse sweep. That could still be a factor right here. Kestrel and Lyra, the first 2 bans, and Grumpjaw locked in.
This is a repeat of the Game 1 draft strategy that GankStars unleashed. So Tempo Storm will have to definitely ban Koshka or take it here. They can pick a key captain, but I think Gwen will probably be a good first pick for them, because I feel like Selena is just much more comfortable and better on the Gwen, and she has a stun. And I think, they're going to actually go with the glaive here, but they definitely need to ban Koshka in this second phase of the ban here.
Yeah, Grumpjaw Koshka going across is something that cannot be allowed.
We'll see where they decide to go with this ban, though. They don't have to ban it. They could have tried to pick it up if they wanted to run Captain Glaive or even a lane Glaive, but they don't want to have the Koshka involved whatsoever, so they go ahead and take that off the board.
Basically got PTSD about Koshka at this point. They just don't want to see that hero ever again. It's going to be Skye banned away there.
Skye is a great ban because now Grumpjaw doesn't have a lot of hard counters. Although Tempo Storm can play Rhyme, into Grumpjaw would work really well, but GankStars has a lot of options. They can do Adagio with Grumpjaw, Flicker could come out here, very strong compositions. I think Tempo Storm would probably go with the Gwen as a safe pick because they want to secure it and not give it over to GankStars. So I think either Gwen or Adagio may come on here, but I feel like they're probably going to lean towards the Gwen here.
We'll see where they do end up hedging their bets in this one, but it's, I mean, Tempo Storm right now, this is going to be a very tense draft. The communication right now between the team must be very, very kind of bated breath on what they're going to do, because already a very, very powerful jungler has gone across to GankStars. Zeno has been playing out of his mind this series.
Using a lot of bonus time on this pick as well.
Oh.
Only 10 seconds left before they lock in the Ringo.
Yes, we've seen a couple of Ringos today. We haven't really seen it go crazy, though.
Yeah, Ringo is not as strong as Gwen right now, but he has highest attack speed, though, with his Twirling Silver, so Selena has known to carry on Ringo very, very well. GankStars now has so many options open. They can do Adagio, they can do Gwen, they can put Wrecked on Lance with this Grumpjaw. Is going to be crazy, so Lance may be a good pick, especially into a Glaive and a Ringo. And you talked about Wreck carrying, right? If you put him on Lance, he is going to carry and make plays for the team here. So they can do a Gwen Lance is a good option. They can do Adagio Flicker is a good option since Sky is banned. So GankStars has a lot of options to choose, and they'll probably go with the one that they're most comfortable with.
And this is the great side about being on the A side of the draft as well, as you can double pick right here. So you can just finish out your composition exactly how you want without the other team interfering at this stage. We'll see what they are going to lock in with 20 seconds remaining. Adagio is going to be picked up.
I was about to say it was going to be very likely an Adagio or a Lance, one of the two. Those are their two most played heroes throughout the regular season. The Adagio, they played 15 times out of their 41 games, excuse me, during the regular season. So not really all that surprising to see that pick here. But now, where are they going to go with the Adagio is the question.
Lance, Arden, or Flicker will be the best options here. They may actually go for Arden because they want Grumpjaw to go in there and get the Vanguard. But Lance also works really well. And if they want to be really, okay, Lance is going to be picked. So that's a scary composition coming out from GankStars there, for sure.
Yeah, this is a powerhouse composition from GankStars and Tempo. We're going to see how they round out this comp and where everybody is going to be going on the map, as they've only got 13 seconds, including their bonus time. What are they going to round it out with?
I mean, well,
Arden is the answer. That's going to be answered for us. But that is the draft done and dusted. I've got to say, personally, GankStars looking strong on this one. What do you guys think? We'll start with you, Sweet J.
They clearly won the draft. I mean, that is such a tough... Like, Adagio Lance in general is just so strong together. But Grumpjaw and Lance as well, that's such a strong early game composition. They're going to deny jungle and really shut down the early game with Tempo Storm here.
And Tempo Storm have struggled a little bit when they picked this Ringo in very small sample size because of only playing in one split of Vainglory, but they had only a 25% win rate in the 4 games they played with the Ringo, and the composition it's up against is made to take out a Ringo. I think GankStars is going to take the sweep.
Well, we'll see if they are going to be able to finish this series off 3-0. I want you guys to be watching out for that Lance landing that CC and letting his team just snowball into a victory. We'll see if that's going to happen or whether Tempo Storm can come back with the reverse sweep. Well, let's pass it over to our casters.
GankStars up 2-0 in this series. Tempo Storm debatably losing the draft according to our analysts. I mean, what do they have to do in this third match here to find a win?
I'm gonna say it's not looking great, but I will say that in the second game they did look stronger than they did in the first game. You know, it's coming. Ringo is not one of the strongest picks right now, not very meta at all. And, you know, comparing to that Vox, is Ringo better than Vox right now? I always think a lot of people say he isn't as good, and that's going to be a big concern going to a draft such as the one GankStars have pulled off. You know, that Grumpjaw, Lance, Adagio, that's incredibly strong.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to see how Tempo Storm are going to come back from this. You know, there's, you know, you've got the state of mind as well. They're playing on a back foot here.
I mean, it's something that you have to keep in mind. I mean, the mental game for these players, to be your first time on the stage, to be down 0-2 in a series, if they're able to come back here in this series, it's going to be phenomenal. But GankStars poised to move forward into day 2 with a victory here with the beefiest lineup I've seen today. It's going to be tough to take on. One thing I do want to mention, I feel like Selena's Ringo he's one of the few players that could pull this Ringo out and have a serious impact in these games, so I don't think we should underestimate it moving into this match here.
I don't think we should underestimate it, but I think we also have to question what everybody was saying at the start. GankStars, yes, they've had a very long experience together. They have a very wide hero pool, and I think, you know, you can't say the same for Temple Storm. They have their power picks. Everybody knows what they're very strong at, and that's clearly coming through in the draft. They're at Crystal Castro, being banned out every single time, and Temple Storm, they're not quite living up to the expectation that everybody was hoping for so far.
I mean, I gotta be honest with you right now. I actually, based off of their performances coming into this championship, I would have expected the series to go the other way. GankStars really showed up and have surprised me thus far. Looks like we're going to have action early on here. Let's go ahead and play-by-play this one as Wrecked finding the nice damage out on Hyde. Hyde the focus, holding his afterburn as Lost Boy moves back. That's going to be the nice afterburn. Wrecked out of position. Lost Boy's down. First blood to Iraqi Zoro. Exactly what GankStars are looking for. Now they have a massive advantage. Wrecked sniffs out Hyde moving around the backside. He's going to know exactly where they're going with the rotations. Selena caught out here, forced to just move back. Can he steal any of these backs here? That's going to be one going over, two going over to GankStars, and a very nice start here once again for them. Wreck's going to go try and steal this camp away here. Hyde's going to go ahead and grab that one. A very, very good job for him.
Yep, he is going to get that, but he's in a bit of a rocky position right now, but it looks like he is going to be able to escape. Very, very strong attempt. A lot of aggression coming up from GankStars very early on, and I'm surprised actually Temple Storm retaliated with what they did. You know, we saw Lost Boy Tough, instead of going for the Protector's contract this time, went for the Iron Guard contract, not the contract you'd expect if you're looking for that early level 1 skirmish.
Well, that was a lot of aggression, incredibly early. GankStars setting the pace here once again. We'll see how these next few minutes play out. I think Wreck doing a good job on the slants. Once again, his position on the map is forward. This gives him vision and information for his team. He knows exactly what's going on. But does Iraqi... he sees Hyde move forward. He's like, nah, I'm not going to have any of that right now.
Yeah, he's staying far, far back, and the whole time we are seeing Xenotech in the jungle of Temple Storm, again denying farm away from Hyde. And this was a major issue in the last game, was that around like about 5 to 10 minutes, Hyde had about a third of the health, sorry, a third of the CS of Xenotech. He does pick up 1 CS there after seeing that tree off, and we are seeing a bit of a 3v2
Tempo
situation.
Dropping though. GankStars kind of caught out. We see Iraqi dropping from the lane. Xenotech taking a lot of damage. This could be a kill for Tempo Storm. He's healed up trying to find the damage on Selena, but he's down. Arden credited with that kill. Lost Boy going to be happy about that. Now an afterburn. Rack taking damage. Selena stays alive. Tempo Storm find 2 kills. I mean, that's pretty much exactly what they were looking for.
That's exactly what they were looking for, but they recognize Xenotech and Wreck, they are in our jungle.
These EU treants, man. Selena almost got taken down.
Yeah, you know. Don't underestimate the tree ants here, especially when we're in London. But as I was saying, you know, the GankStars, they recognize that Xenotech and Rekt were in their jungle. This is a really good opportunity for us to come down, flank, and pick up the kills. Selena, very, very close to going down there, but was able to reposition himself using using his B ability just to get away there, and they were able to pick up the kill. Hyde and Lost Boy Tough, very, very durable, very tanky, was able to take most of the damage away from him.
Yeah, I think Selena did a very good job to go ahead and reposition himself. He did turn in that fight, stood his ground, and that only comes when you completely believe that your team is going to keep you alive in the fight. Obviously, Selena having the faith in his teammates here. It looks like it's going to be GankStars taking away the Elder Treant. They're going to take away the forward camps from Tempo Storm as well, denying resources across the map. They're building up a small net worth lead here, and they're down in kills, so this is a bit different than the first 2 matches, but not a different story when it comes to net worth.
Definitely not. And part of the reason, again, why this is happening is if you look at the CS difference, Xenotech very, very aggressive in the jungle, has been denying a lot of the farm away from Hyde. Yes, he may have, one of them may have died when they were when he was trying to take the farm away. But the gold lead coming
Hyde,
from that.
Boots forward. Oh, Hyde was looking for it. Sorry to cut you off there.
Oh, it's okay.
You could tell he was going for it.
He was going for it, but they know exactly what's happening. They know their playstyle. These teams have studied each other's playstyles inside and out. They know exactly what to do in the draft phase. And actually, Hyde, Lance going to be stealing away a little bit of that there.
Yeah, that's Hyde actually claiming that Wrecked. He's very far forward. Xenotech's behind him. A nice Githian wall as Wrecked just slaps them, finding the stun. I think Tempo Storm feeling pretty good. This is one of the teams coming into the tournament that it felt like if they'd started to find some momentum that they could really ride that pretty far.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. Tempo Storm, I feel like they are, but I'm still rooting for them. I know that deep down inside that they have the ability to turn those games around. We have seen this happen in the Vainglory 8 in the past few weeks. They have taken series away from some very strong teams like TSM. They won their, they won against GankStars in week 1 of Split 2. These teams have faced up against each other. They know each other extremely, extremely well.
Yeah, they definitely do. It seems that GankStars did a little bit of studying in their downtime before this championship, and it's really proven here. Xenotech, he's grumpy. He's over the wall and trying to deny the back trans here from Hyde. Hyde's going to grab it. Nice little afterburn over the wall, a teleport home, and he'll get out of that one. Scott, I was going to say Scott Frey until it looked like Recht was play some games with him there. They know exactly what happened.
I think one thing that's slightly worrying for me in this game is that the last time, in the first game where we did see where we did see a Grumpjaw coming out from GankStars, it wasn't blocked at all. Selena, they were going for Selena every single time, and I can certainly anticipate the same thing happening in this game, and he wasn't able to block it. I really hope that may just be a case of nerves as opposed to actually being unable to block it, because if Xenotech's able to land that stuff down time and time again on Selena and putting him right in the middle of GankStars, that's a very bad position for Tempo Storm to be in.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it's not a position you want to be in, but that's not the easiest ability in the game to be blocking off. Selena, a player that can definitely do it. Look at a very large lane wave here built up. Selena going to be happy to go ahead and farm this up, but it means that they're going to be delayed a second, giving GankStars a bit of time to make a little rotation down to the shop as a team here. A lot of pickups as the alternating current going to come out here for Iraqi Zoro. A major pickup for Adagio.
Yeah, Xenotech's going in. Oh,
he's stopped. He's got Hyde going to reposition backwards here, and have they taken him far enough back? They stun him up. They're going to be able to chop him down. Look at, they knew exactly what they want to do. That Githian wall coming out of the stuff there. That was the thing of beauty.
That chain CC was beautiful. I was at the start. I was like, are you sure you want to go for Hyde? He's got the afterburn available. He can escape. But then the Githian wall right in. You know, they were able to focus him down really well. And that's something that we've seen from GankStars over the past 2 games, is that they have excellent target focus all through them. I think that's just a reflection of good communication between the team, is that we are going to be going for this person first, and then we'll do this. There's a very, very linear just the path that they're showing in these games.
A linear path of Xenotech trying to get through that wall there as he just kind of face-checked it. Lost Boy realized what's going on. He's going to clear out the scout traps in that right tri-bush. Once again, GankStars as a team down at the shop, and they're setting the pace here. I mean, they did it in the very beginning of the game. This is a phenomenal job, and what we talk about with these competitive teams so often, when you are dictating movement across the map, the game often becomes so much easier for you. We see Hyde in the top brush here. He's going to be looking for Iraqi Zoro if he can find him. Moves forward. Afterburn back. It's going to be the reflex. Just a little too late there. Now, it's the Grumpy. A lot of damage coming out. Lost Boy dropping low. Forced to self-founded. He's down anyway. My hands are up in the air. He stopped Hyde. He's caught the beautiful! That's disgusting! That's not right!
That was beautiful. We have seen...
I'm done.
You're out. Beautiful combinations. GankStars just pulling off another chain CC that we weren't expecting to come out in this game, right? Showing that he knows exactly what he did
cheeky.
there. Very cheeky. Very cheeky there.
Okay, so we've seen Xenotech with the stuff, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, when he releases the target out of stuff, we saw Githian wall, just immediate CC burst down into the impale. That time we saw the verse coming out right off the bat. I mean, what do you actually do?
It was disgustingly beautiful. I think that's the only way I can describe it. What you can do is, I guess, build a reflex block. Hyde. Normally, as a glaive, if you're getting the stuff, getting repositioned, put in the middle of another team, what you can do is use your afterburn to get out, or you're in a perfect position to deal a lot of damage using your area of effect. But if you're going to get chain CC'd like that every single time, you're going to have to start thinking about that reflex block.
I mean, and you mentioned it before, like, it doesn't feel like a cooldown glaive would be the best target to take out, because he oftentimes should be able to get away, or it feels like he would, but not against this GankStars squad right now. Their timing has been impeccable, chaining the CCs, as you said, not giving an opportunity for Tempo Storm to even use their mechanical abilities to avoid these engagements. It's insane at this point. 4-2 kill advantage to GankStars. Net worth advantage building up about 2K as well as we approach the 9-minute mark of this game. What can Tempo Storm do at this point?
At this point, they are focusing a lot on Hyde. We're seeing those Xenotech time and time again using his stuff to try and pick up Hyde there. But the whole time, everybody's actually ignoring Selena. Selena's just backing away from the fight. It's like, okay, we'll let them have Hyde. We'll just let that kill go over to the side. And actually, if you look at the CA, 82 to Iraqi Zoro 68, that is a nice lead drawing ahead. He has now finished 2 major damage items. He's got that Zoro Blade. He also has that Poison Shiv. Iraqi Zoro not quite finished that Broken Myth yet. That is a good position for a Ringo to be in, to be forgotten about.
Yeah, I'm sure Selena's actually quite happy to be forgotten about to a certain extent, but you know, the way GankStars are playing, I doubt that they've forgotten about anything on this map at this point. knowing that Selena has started to build up these items and becoming a little bit more of a threat. Maybe going to focus. Well, hold that thought. Gauntlet's down. Xenotech, he's moved through the wall. He's looking for Selena. He's going to go ahead and get stuffed up right there. They're taking Lost Boy out. Now they've turned on to Hide down. Fountain, not quite fast enough. But look at that Githian wall out of Rekt, finding a two-man stun. Xenotech moves forward. Rekt in hot pursuit of Selena. He's able to get himself out of here. Nope, combat roll. They got the impale there. Araki Zero's onto Lost Boy around that mid. Crystal Sentry trying to get some. Xenotech and Rekt find the kill. GankStars, they just completely split focus, finding the kills, finding the ace. I don't know if they can actually make a mistake. I feel like I'm watching like artificial intelligence play this game right now.
Actually, I wouldn't say it's GankStars making a mistake. I actually would say it's Tempestorm making the mistake there in that last team fight. We saw them engaging with that gauntlet, but then I felt that Crucible was used very prematurely by Lost Boy Top, and I actually think that was a really wasted opportunity there. It just really put Tempestorm on a back foot there, but luckily for them, GankStars weren't able to pull really another turret off the back of that.
All right, so GankStars not going to get another turret off the back of that. Once again, they dip down to shock. I mean, I said it time and time again, but it's something that I think we should pay attention. They're always rotating as a unit when they're in vulnerable positions. Broken Myth completed here for Araki Zoro. Rekt throws the impale into the brush. Going to go ahead and miss. It was the blind impale there. Definitely could have landed as Tempestorm were having a forward positioning there. But Tempestorm going to go ahead and move back here as GankStars clear out the lane wave. Look for their next objective.
Yeah, they are looking for their next objective there. Xenotech, I've got to say this Grumpjaw is suiting his kind of playstyle very well. He's known for that very aggressive early game, just getting right into their faces, taking control off the jungle. And he's working really well with Rekt to do that so far. 59 CS there to Hyde's 38, but looking at the items there, that's a big difference. He's got that pauldrons already, so when he is jumping forward onto Selena, he's able to apply that pauldrons, forcing Selena to back away.
It's definitely a tough game for Selena at this point. And, you know, one of the things also that we have to take into, I mean, these infusions, right? They're timing out. You talked about it before. It's very important that you try to get something done, having these infusions up. If you've bought this, you don't get something out of it. I mean, that sets you further back than you were to start.
It feels for me that these infusions, they weren't, rather than using them to pick, pick up an objective or pick up an ace, they were just using the infusions to stay alive. Is how it feels. You know, just gives them a little
sometimes
more,
like treading water, right?
It feels like they are struggling right now. They're really struggling to find that whole foothold there in these team fights. GankStars, as we've said time and time again over the past few games, they're looking very strong, very cohesive, moving very well as a team. And I think Tempestorm are really struggling to find any kind of flaws in their movement.
Tempestorm will continue to look for the crack in the armor of GankStars. Every single team has a weakness. It doesn't matter how far you are ahead. If you make a mistake against one of these top teams, they can find a way to go ahead and pull themselves back into the game. Right now, Tempestorm, their back's against the wall. This is such a dangerous situation to be in. We see them going to go dip to the shop one more time. Hyde's going to be sitting on his own infusion there. Now Rekt, moving forward, almost finding the impale onto Lost Boy. Lost Boy forced to use his boots and get out of position there. Tempestorm taking their jungle as Goldminer taken by GankStars. And Tempestorm, are they going to think about it? Hellfire Brews wound up here, connects on a Xenotech. Gauntlet down. Rekt cancels it off! My goodness, Rekt, stop it, you're killing me here. This is just phenomenal play. They're stuffed up. They're going to go ahead and move back here. With Lost Boy, the verse comes out, connects, very nice damage, but not finding the stun. Crystal Sentry doing pretty good damage. Rekt has used the fountain. They find the kill onto Selena. Moving back, another kill comes out as Hyde goes down. Run, Lost Boy. He can't go anywhere. He's down. Ace 10-2. GankStars on a roll.
Second consecutive ace there for GankStars, and I think for this time they are sure to get that second turret there. And actually, I have to say that start of that fight looked very, very strong there for Tempestorm. They got the gauntlet. They were doing a lot of damage, and you know, it was looking great for Tempestorm, but unfortunately GankStars, they planned it very well. Xenotech taking Lost Boy Top out of the fight this time. He's taking the front line away from Hyde and Selena, who's sitting there, not much defense. They're in a very vulnerable position there without Lost Boy.
I mean, yeah, Xenotech, he took Lost Boy Top out of the fight, but at the same time, Lost Boy gets the gauntlet canceled off by Rekt, just slapping up against the wall with that Githian wall. I mean, it was such a beautiful thing. But as an ardent player in these games, it's something you have to keep in mind. I'm sure Lost Boy is doing his best to try and avoid those situations, but in the heat of the moment, sometimes that just happens.
Sometimes it does happen. Unfortunately, Templestorm, they're struggling to find these conditions to win. Selena, he has picked up the breaking point now. He has that weapon of fusion sitting there. This could be a good time for them to fight. And again, the issue is here with this breaking point is, are they really finding these moments for him to build up to 20 breaking point stacks? Hyde, he's not surviving through these fights. Lost Boy Tough, he is also not surviving through these fights. Even when they're fighting on the side of Templestorm's jungle with the Crystal Sentry there, GankStars, they have enough damage, they have the movements and the positioning to try and pick up the kills. And here they go again!
Oh, they cancel off the Hellfire Roof from Selena! Wrecked is on fire right now! Another Githian wall, another stun!
Oh no.
Gauntlet's down. They're fighting with the Crystal Sentry inside as the verse comes out. Is there enough damage coming out of the fountain keeping them alive? They're onto Araki Zoro.
Oh.
They get another stun from Wrecked right here. With Xenotech down, they're on the chase. Oh, they've got
They
Wrecked.
made a mistake!
Templestorm have completely turned it around. A reverse ace. And this was the moment. We're 15 minutes in. It was like clockwork. The Kraken spawns. Templestorm's like, yeah, okay, it's time.
I feel like we just jinxed GankStars there after what I said. But yes, this could be the first time that Templestorm will be picking up this entire series, actually. And I think the major mistake that came down was that GankStars, they just got a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too cocky. They were fighting in the realm with the Crystal Miner trapped inside the gauntlet with them. Was there respect? I'm not sure if there was.
You know, I don't know if it's a respect thing, but they're definitely feeling themselves right now. But you could tell going into that fight, Templestorm knew exactly what was going to happen. If you had looked at their positioning as that Crystal Sentry was running out, it was very obvious that GankStars were going to make that move. And Templestorm, they pull the trigger, they move in, they find the ace. Now, Kraken captured, going to be marching forward down the lane. They've taken one turret already, and they're going to see as they can take as many as they can here with this Kraken and a Templestorm. Let's see if they can bide their time. So many teams, this is like kryptonite to competitive teams when they get a Kraken. Hellfire Brew wound up and move into Xenotech. Hyde just on the front line here. Lost Boy moves in.
No.
Atlas Pauldron onto Iraqi Sora. That's a very good job thus far. They've slowed that attack speed. Now he's going to move forward. Wreck, they're trying to find position. Hyde finds the afterburn. Iraqi Zora moves back. Selena, he's not quite stunned up. Selena's getting the damage. Arden finds the kill. Another afterburn! This is why you don't give Hyde his glaive. Doing the second Atlas Pauldron applied. Versus going to come out. Stun him right there. Then you can knock him back. They're moving forward. Remember, Kraken is marching down the lane onto this choke point turret. Hyde, another stun. Knocking it back. The wall down. Hyde, Iraqi Zoro stands his ground. Finds the double kill. They're on the Lost Boy Tough. Iraqi Zoro. This is the slowest attack speed I've ever seen, but he finds the triple kill. Iraqi Zoro is hard all the way up.
Iraqi Zoro picking up the kills there, but I'm going to say Selena Gomez sitting there with very, very low health. Could have just backed entirely away from the fight. Went forward. It was so easy for GankStars to see how low he was. They picked up the kill, and that's actually the ace there. Going towards GankStars, and if you look at the gold there, this is closed massively. 3.2k between the two teams now. And Templestorm, they have the lead in terms of turrets. They may not have the lead in terms of gold. They may not have the lead in terms of kills. But things are beginning to look up for them. And I think GankStars, they're recognizing that Selena is going to have to be their main target now. If you look at the items that he is building, that is a massive amount of damage there. He's got that Tyrant's Monaco. The crit, the mortal wound coming out from that poison shiv is going to be a major force to be reckoned with against GankStars.
A major force to be reckoned with, and Templestorm, this is one of those teams that when they smell the weakness, they are going to just jump in there and try to abuse it. See them jumping forward as the mid's being contested over here. GankStars once again adds a unit. Clumped up here in this right brush. Going to go ahead and probably, feels like, push this lane out here a little bit and then look to control the positioning. One of the things, Shinji, I think we should point out, very excellent vision control coming out of GankStars. And Rekt has done this all 3 games, but I think we should point it out here.
Yeah, definitely. He's picked up the contraption this time. And what's really important about the jungle control is it allows GankStars, they know exactly the positioning of Templestorm, but it also allows them to deny the farm away from their jungle. And they're doing that so well. And every single time they're making that push forward, he is putting down more scout traps every single time. And it puts GankStars there in a very safe position. They know exactly what to do. They know how to anticipate. The thing is, Templestorm, they're beginning to retaliate. That Crystal Sentry has a candy on it.
Of course, it has that candy on it. It's a very sweet treat for the Crystal Sentry there, and it's going to back GankStars off. They don't really want to get into a bad situation again. Now, this is Rekt on the front side taking good damage. 5 breaking point stacks very quickly for Selena. You can see the damage is immense coming out of this Ringo. And this is why some people, had mentioned earlier, they think that Ringo maybe a little bit overlooked. Like, there's a lot of damage output potential. Hellfire Brew Connects onto Iraqi Zoro, but it looks like Tempo not really willing to quite engage that far just yet. They move forward with the flare out, clearing scout traps, clearing the vision. One of the most important things they can do right now to, go ahead and remove that element of surprise from the GankStars side.
Yes, and Lost Boy Tough is doing a very good job of it. So one thing I would really like to see Lost Boy Tough focusing on next is to go for those war treads. It does look like he is building towards that. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we're seeing a lot of CC being focused on Selena. He's having to disengage, and he's not able to get away every single time. If you have the war treads, it just helps, like, just increasing that gap a little bit more, allowing Selena just to get a safe position.
Hyde with the afterburn, trying to buy some time. Crystal Sentry's going to go down, wrecked with the impale, maybe not needed, but he's going to be able to combat roll into a safer position. Get himself out of there. 20 minutes in this game, 13-6. Net worth advantage to GankStars. They've started up the crack and flares out from Tempo Storm. They move forward. They know exactly what's happening. Wrecked finds the impale, just buying time for his team. Xenotech looking for a target here. He has that stuff ready to go. Of course, it is up so often for him here. This Grumshaw is doing so much damage through this game. Moves forward once again. The Alice Pauldron applied onto both the Adagio and the Grumshaw. Gauntlets down. This is the fight that Tempo Storm are looking for. Hellfire Brew connects here onto Wreck. Wreck with the fountain, keeping himself alive. Hyde. The afterburn back onto Grumshaw. Wreck dropping low. Is this gonna be enough? Selena. He's moved towards Selena. He finds the kill. Burst comes down, canceled off. Fountain's gonna come up. They've stuffed up with Selena here. Hyde goes down. Haraki as he just comes roaring back into this fight. But he looked like he had it. That fight looked lost for GankStars.
Oh, for sure.
And he stands his ground, just flexes himself up and says no.
That's exactly what Xenotech held onto that stuff for so long. Previously, what we've been seeing is Xenotech's engaging with that stuff every single time. This time, they held on to it, waited for Selena.
Is this game?
This is game!
Is this game?
It's a 3-0!
No! I mean, it felt like it was going to be close. Hyde's up. They're going to be able to buy a bit of time here. A lot of damage coming out. They're trading back and forth. Vayne Crystal's going to go down. Heartbreak City for Tempo Storm. Especially as in match 3, it felt like they had started to find some traction. Their feet were on the ground. They were finding the damage. Selena obviously was starting to get on target there. But GankStars.
They adapted mid-game. They were playing a very certain strategy every single time. They were picking up just a member and throwing them into the verse of judgment. But this time, they held on to that stuff, waited till the very end when Selena was fully stacked up, took him out of the fight, which allowed them to focus on Hyde and Lost Boy Tough.